Hi there, this is Joe, just doing a follow-up video to the false widow bite. I don't know if you guys remember that we done a TikTok video last August, September time last year. It was just post-operation, a few weeks into it. I was trying to explain to you and make everyone aware how dangerous the false widow spider is. That is downplayed. I'll explain all that about the NHS later on. But I've been promised recently by senior consultants that they're going to go to the top, speak to them about it anyway, because all this business about just like a wasp bite is not actually true. Because even if you look at the last video, that was just feedback of people that had seen the video, and there was about 7 or 8 people lost their legs, about 5 lost their arms, toes, feet, etc., etc., and arms up to elbows and stuff like that. Basically, I'm back on here now to just give you a second part to that first video, because that was 6-7 months ago. Basically, it was a health thing when I spoke to you before. I was in the thick of it, and thank you very much for the comments and everything, and it was really good of you. But the whole idea of it, I just don't want anyone else to gone through that. If we can get it educated and get it out there and make people aware, like I spoke to the consultant in Tooting, St George's the other day, she promised me she's going to go to the top managers and make sure that the whole thing's readjusted. A couple of them were very honest, because I kicked up a bit of a fuss there at one point, and one of the consultants came out of the room, spoke to me in the hallway, and she explained that she knew of at least 7 or 8 or 9 people losing limbs in St George's last year, and that's only one consultant. If you ask people, there's nothing on the television about it. There's no warnings about the false widows. But right, I was going to get straight onto it. So basically, done the op. As you know, you saw me after the op. All my hand was all open. There'll probably be a picture up there. You'll see what happened. I was told by the physiotherapist, Sandy was a great physio. That's his name. One of the guys that work in Tooting. Excellent. I was just God blessed to have a great physio. Anyway, they're a good team, the whole lot of them. Anyway, so basically, he gave me exercise to do. You know, it's usually very rushed. Gave me a bit of extra time in there, gave me an extra session basically. So you could see, I just wanted it. I was confused. He'd never seen a spider. He'd seen one spider bite before. That's what he told me. So these other people that lost their limbs and stuff obviously didn't need physio, otherwise he'd have seen them. So whatever happens to those sort of people, I don't know. But anyway, caught mine 48 hours later, probably just in time. That's what I was told by the doctors at the time when I had the operation. Basically, I'm here today it's just a follow-up to what happened since the last video. So the physiotherapy, just going to show you basically I was told that I wouldn't get my hand any further than that unless you put the hours in, but she said don't expect too much. But I mean, I can nearly get a full fist. That Sandy, the physio, couldn't believe it. It was incredible. But I did go through up to 3 months of drooling, home physio, not just the physio that I had to go once every. They could only give me it once. In the beginning, it was once every week or 10 days, and then it drifted off to once every 2 weeks. So basically, it was down to yourself how much effort you wanted to put into it. So what I'm going to do today, just go through the physio. If you get bit by a false widow, I'm going to talk about awareness of false widows and when they're going to be prevalent again and coming back out from where they're hiding, wherever they're sleeping or wherever they're doing at the moment. So I'm going to take you through the rehabilitation stuff right now. So as you know, I couldn't do that. So what I had to do was lots of different exercises. I had to hold my hands straight, do 10 reps like so, then 10 reps wide with fingers out, then 10 reps holding the fist in like that, 10 reps like that, 10 reps like that. And then obviously I had to press on the table, coming up. And it went from 10 reps, within a week I was doing 20 reps, 30 reps, and I was pushing the limits. And then obviously I was bringing other stuff into it as well. So I was doing all these exercises what they're showing me to do. There was a few other ones. I'm trying to think what they were now, but anyway. So then I bought other equipment myself, which you can get on Amazon or Temu and places like that. Temu's take a little bit longer, but if you know you're going through this, you can order stuff a bit early. Right. So basically, as well as doing the exercises, at the very end of the exercises. I mean, I incorporated this after. This will be your final thing you'll do, but I'll explain that to you in a minute, hot and cold, yeah. Right, so I've done all those exercises, what I've just shown you, and the pressing on the table. The reps went up to sort of 20s, 30s. Within about 2 weeks, I was up to sort of 40 reps on each one, which was a lot. Now, remember, I was doing this three to four times a day, so it was taking me 2 hours to do the whole lot. Right, so then I'd go straight onto these balls here. Basically, you can buy these, like I say, Amazon or Temu or somewhere like that. You can get them in other places. And I'd just squeeze the ball. To get this one with the fingers in, it's really good. It's got a different tension than that one. 20 reps. I was doing 20 reps 3 times of that. So do 20 reps, then 20 reps again, then 20 reps again. Then move on to this. Do the same, squeeze in 20 times, small gap of 10 seconds, 20 times, that's 60, 60, 60, 60, yeah. Then these, the same, I was doing 60 of these. So you do 20, have a slight gap in a couple of seconds, then 20, 20. Then I move on to something similar but different. I couldn't get all my 4 fingers in, not that I've got big hands, it's just some of these things are a bit smaller. So I do sort of 20 with that. With 3 fingers, then switch over, leave the top finger up there and do another 20 there, and then another 20 there. So that's those 4 items there out of the way. Then I would go on to these here. Now these, you can buy these, they come at different tensions. This blue one, I think it's £10, this is £15, just means they're a bit harder to twist. So basically, the whole idea of this is to get the wrist movement back in again, because where they've done the incisions over the carpal tunnel, all the tension here around, all these ripples that are in this, apart from doing the exercises I'll just show you. So you'll do, this is the bad hand, so I know that even though I'm doing a rep with that one, because you've got to balance your body out, it's pointless doing a rep with one side, because you need to do both sides equally. But so I ended up the last week doing 100 of each. So basically I ended up doing 50 on the bad hand and 50 on the good side. So just backwards and forwards like that, 100 of those. And then, a bit tougher this one. And then obviously a gap of about 10 seconds and then off you go again. So you have to do 100 of those. So basically you're doing 50 on the bad hand, 50 on the good hand, right? Okay. So when that's done, you can also get them on Amazon and Temu. Right, then I had this object here, which what's happened is where they've had to cut me open, you can get nerve damage in certain fingers. So these are quite good, you can get these quite reasonably. And they're finger massagers, right? Once again, Temu or Amazon or whatever, they're the best places to get them. And you could just run this, I mean I had no feeling in this finger, probably about 5% feeling. Now I'm down to I've got about 60% feeling in that, and it's coming back quite quickly now. So, but it's all the tension. So backwards and forwards with this, all over the finger, trying to irritate the nerves and get everything stimulated. Okay, right. So obviously that leaves the weights. Now, the idea of this, a bit like when I done that thing on the table I showed you, like this, where I'm straightening the arm out back, bringing the wrist in back. That's to bring that and stretch that wrist around, right? So this is similar but in a different way. So what you're doing, you're just lowering the weight down. It's not a race, you just do it gently. It's about the movement, slowly down, stretching all this carpal tunnel, all the wrist, all that damaged hand, and strengthening the muscles back up here, obviously, because they get weaker because you're not using them so much. But the whole point of that is to strengthen that hand, get that grip. See the grip, the way the fingers are gripping there? Very important, because post operation, when they've had to cut you open, to get all the venom and the disease out, and you're lucky to have your hand anyway, that's the consequence or basically of having the operation. So I've showed you that and that. There is other things I incorporated as well. I'll show you what the hospital gave me. They gave me a splint to wear at night. So basically, it's difficult to wear this. So what I was doing, sometimes I couldn't wear it at night. It was just too difficult. But you can wear it in the daytime, here and there, in between your exercises. So what you do, you basically put your hand in, bring the splint over, and just, what this was to do was to create a fist. You know, they said I wouldn't be able to get any further than that, like a grip, like a claw they call it. So Sandy, once again, the physio, great guy, it's in St George's Hospital, he helped me get through it, and he just said, let's try this. So basically, you stretch that over, and that's velcroed, and that grips you, and it keeps you in a position like so, because I was struggling to get that fist. So what this does, it kind of, you know, it just keeps it in that position without you having to squeeze it with the other hand and hold it for ages. So I was doing those exercises as well, but in between, you know, like I told you, there's 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. This should be in between. Might be watching TV or whatever you're doing, and then just do this in between. So then maybe I'd leave it on for 45 minutes. It might be too much after that, take it off, have a few seconds rest, and then back on again, back into that fist. So what that would do is help the fingers get used to being in that position. So that was supplied by the hospital. They said to keep it overnight. I just found it difficult to sleep with it, so I kind of aborted the nighttime thing and used it in between in the day. Showing you that. Also, the next bit of treatment that isn't told you at the hospital, but when I spoke to Sandy, the physio, he said it's not going to do any harm. This is called a TENS machine. So basically, I'll just show you what you do. In this injury, remember all injuries are different. This is the hand. You know what I've had. I've been bitten on the hand. They've had to open the hand up. So basically, if you get bitten on the hand, you're probably going to do something similar to what I'm doing. So what I've done, you know the finger I can't feel it too well in? I just wrap this around. You get these with little pads on these TENS. Put one on the carpal tunnel here. Right, okay, like so. And that medium, there's a nerve that travels through here called the medium nerve, that's why that finger's affected, because the tendon got pressed with the swelling. When I got bit, the hand went like that and it swelled down, it caused a bit of pressure. So then the other 2 pads, what you do with those, the best way to do this is to, your medium nerve basically runs up towards your shoulder, and it depends on how far you want to go with it, but you usually get 4 pads. So what I've done, I just put another one like so, another one like so, just to get the tension in it. And then what you do, really good little bit of kit these are, right? You switch it on, but be careful you don't have it on high straight away. So how you turn them on is just literally the knobs. So that's on now, I don't know if you can see that, the digits. But you basically turn it on, and I can feel the tension in this finger here, which is a lot better than it was a few months ago. I couldn't feel anything. So now I can see it's pulsating through the medium nerve, through the damaged hand, through the carpal tunnel, and into the finger that I'm trying to get the feeling back in. So I do that probably for about 20 minutes, 3 times a day. And I just added that into the whole rehabilitation after about 4 or 5 weeks later, once the scars and everything had cleaned up and everything. And this is a good bit of kit to get. You can also get that on Amazon as well. It just stimulates if you get any nerve damage, which happens post-op. Sometimes it's due to what the hospital have to do by the cutting you open, or it can be to do with poison in your arm or the damage from the spider, in this case, the false widow. Right, so there's that bit of kit. So you can see, if you want to get, if you're told that your hand is, you're more likely not only going to get to here, and you want to make the effort, if you put the hours in, that's the only way it's going to work. You could see the determination in my face when I've done the last video, and my determination is to make sure this thing with this falls widow gets sorted out completely with the NHS, with the awareness for everyone out there. I know they shut the school recent. Well, it wasn't recent; it was last year. Shut the whole school down because they're false widows. Supposed to be not as bad as a flea bite. A bee bite, a wasp bite. I mean, it can't be true if they shut a whole school down. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. So I've done all those bits and pieces. Okay. Now you can. This is going to make you laugh. Some people out there. This can be used for lots of different things, but in this case, I bought it for a massager because I was told on Amazon that's what it was. But obviously, it could be used for other things. But that's what I used it for, and it's very aggressive. And I was told by Sandy at the physio department at Tooting at St George's to get aggressive with it. This was about 4 to 5 weeks post-op. So this would have been September. And he told me to get really aggressive with it because the carpal tunnel area here took a while to heal, so I couldn't massage that. But this wasn't the first massager I used. This is very aggressive and it was perfect for that. And for the first 2 weeks after your stitches come out, you need one of these. You get these from Amazon. I've got no battery in it, but it's quite weak, but that's all you need. And you see I had scars here on my fingers. You probably saw the earlier video, scars here, the carpal tunnel and a zigzag here. My whole hand was opened up basically to get the venom and the poison out. So this tool is really good to get, but it's the beginning process. So apart from all the exercises I've showed you, not this. This came in about 3.5 weeks later. You need to use something less aggressive. So you just get this and run it along the scar tissue. The reason why you do that, like the zigzag here, the reason why you do that is so that when the scar tissue is healing underneath within the hand, if you use this early enough and you get to the scar tissue, it will stop the scar tissue underneath inside your hand gripping onto things like tendons and other bits and bobs, right? You don't want that because that's what's going to restrict you on your movement. Very important to use that. You know, as soon as your scar's healed and you've had your stitches out, use it straight away. Obviously, the other one I did show you, brilliant. I feel like it's 10 times better than that, but it's had a lot more work. Rechargeable, about 20 quid on Amazon. That was 25, but I didn't get as much use out of it. But you need that because it does all the intricate stuff, all that fine tissue. That wouldn't do that for the first 2 weeks. You need to get into that on that little scar tissue, and that is perfect for that. But the overall massage of the hand, because your hand's going to be tight where they've opened it up to get the poison and everything out, and just to get that movement within the hand. So that baby done a great massage. As I say, you're supposed to use that at night, but if you do it in the daytime, it's just as good in between. It's up to you if you want to get your hand fixed. I'm the sort of person, if someone says, oh, you'd be lucky to get it back to, I said, no, I want it better than that hand. You know, I'm not going to be satisfied for that. So when I heard that, I knew I had to do it. So you can see all the equipment. It's not, you know, that I got lent off a friend. It's a 3 kilo weight. It's sufficient. You don't need any more. I don't need a 5. Too heavy for this. But that's perfect. Right, so get these reps. Sets of 20s. Get everything up to sets of 20s 3 times. You want to be working everything three times of 20, so 60 reps on everything. Not this. You just run this up and down your finger a few times for 3 minutes. But all these items here, this one, this one, this one, and this one, all want to get up to 60 reps really. So sets of 20s each. Yeah, that's what you want to get up to. You won't get that straight away. But within 3 to 4 weeks, you should be getting to 60 reps, right? A little gap, 5 seconds in between each one. Don't forget these. Basically, last but not least, that is why, in the end, sometimes when I was incorporating all this equipment, as well as all the exercises they gave me, you know, all these different hand movements. There was this one as well. all these, they take time, you know, like if you're doing them for 3 to 4 times a day and all this kind of stuff. It takes a long time. Be prepared to spend up to nearly 2 hours, I'd say, hour and 3/4. Right. So what the other thing, what was really good as well, what I was told to do, hot and cold dip. So you boiling water, but obviously don't put your hand in boiling water. Get the temperature down, tip boiling water to halfway. Some cold in there until you get it so it's bearable, but it's hot, right? And then this one, I was using this for the cold water. So turn your tap on really cold, nice and really. It's boiled water, but you put cold water in it, so it's bearable. It's not going to burn you, right? So don't fill up a kettle of water and put your hand straight in it. But obviously, kettle of water about halfway, and then fill it up with cold water. But get it to the temperature where you can feel the heat. When you keep dipping in the cold as well, you'll find that when you go back next time, it's going to get the hot water's going to get cold. So what you do, you heat a kettle up, just have it ready at the side. You need a kettle nearby just to put a trickle in. Don't put the heaps in there, like just a tiny little trickle, and it will heat up. And you'll feel and think, oh, yeah, that's good enough. And then you just go again, 20 reps. Don't take your hand right out the bowl. Just keep it in there so it's in the heat. And that is it, basically it, guys. That was the rehabilitation to get me to where I am now. My advice to you is, and if Sandy was sitting here right now, because he shook my hand, he said, oh, I've never seen anyone so empowered to get to repair themselves, and I knew I didn't want to give up. It was, and if I didn't have the right support around me, people around me as well, it would have been even more difficult. So I thank everyone for that. So the reason I'm coming on here now is just to let you know that I spoke to consultants, had a good conversation again a few weeks ago, and the consultant I spoke to, we talked about education, about teaching people about the false widows that are in this country, that are in your gardens, are in your sheds. They're coming in when it's raining in October, September, October, so you've got to be aware of that as well. They aren't dangerous, they're not going to chase you around the house. And there was people on the internet saying, oh, I don't know why people were saying these false widows are so dangerous. They are dangerous. They don't chase after you, they're out to get you, but look, it's human behaviour and habits. We put our shoes down. We're used to putting our stuff outside. It's not Australia, but I mean, the way it is in this day and age, I would treat it that way, because if one of these gets into your glove like it did to mine, and I got bit, I'd expected this to happen, because one of the reasons was lack of education. But there is education out there. I'm putting this video out again to back up that first video. It was agonising. We got a lot of viewers that understood and are very kind, and with very kind words, and I've got enough comments back to most of you. But so you've seen what you've got to do. It is different for if you get bit in the leg, it's probably different. This is a hand thing, but people get bit on the hand quite a lot. But people have been bit on their necks from off of nightgowns. Hanging linen on the line is very bad, because there's been a lot of people bit in their beds, so that probably could be anywhere in your body. Could even be a back. But you know, lots of people lost their limbs. All the replies I got to the TikTok video last time, there was loads of people lost their legs, arms, and everything else, feet, and all sorts. Because you can get sepsis as well very quickly. So what it is, it's a lack of education. If you know that you've been bitten, or you think you've been bitten, get to the hospital as quick as you can. If you suspect it, and even if you're not sure what bit you, doesn't matter. Get to the hospital, get on antibiotics. Get them to make sure you get on antibiotics. I mean, I've done my best to make the hospital St George's. I've screamed blue murders up there, basically, about it, because they need to change their approach, and they promised me, the consultants, I spoke to them for quite a long time the other day. And I had a couple of them in the corridor talking to me about people that have lost their legs. Even that's just in Tooting. And we look at all the hospitals we've got all the country, and the video I done and the feedback I got of people that lost their limbs. So it is a very serious situation. You don't hear about people losing their legs over a wasp thing. So come on, let's get real, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to take you through the rehabilitation for a hand bite after a false widow bite. I hope this helps you out, guys. Right, all you've got to be aware of now is about May, they're going to start coming out again, the spiders, the false widows. So you've got to be prepared again. I mean, I got a product called Nope, N-O-P-E. Get it on Amazon. It comes in a 5-gallon drum or a spray. You can do it around your doors, around bits and pieces. Just be vigilant in your garden and know what they look like. They've mostly got a red body with like a skull on them. So protect yourselves. If you think you've been bitten, don't think it's just something normal like I did. Go straight to the hospital, and even if you've got to sit there for a few hours and get seen to by a doctor, don't. Or you can go to your doctors, get an emergency appointment at your doctors. Like they're fully aware of what's going on. So you're worried you've been bitten by a false widow, but you want antibiotics. If you get on antibiotics in a few hours, you'll be fine. If you do what I done and left it for a day, even a day or 2 days, you're looking at surgery. And if you leave it more than that, you could very well easily lose a limb. It's happened multiple times. I'm sure if there's been multiple times in the hospital in St George's, and I've had some come through on TikTok on that video, then God knows how many people have lost. I don't know of any deaths. I think there's been one death, but I don't. As far as I know, definitely it's a limb loser without a shadow of a doubt. If you're very lucky like me and you beat it by half a day or a day, could have got a lot worse. So I'm thankful for that. But as I say, that just took you through what you've got to do, what you've got to purchase. It probably cost you probably about £100 to get most of this stuff, but it'll set you up to get you fixed up. It's the hours you put in to get him to. Don't forget the hot and cold water at the very end. Get your TENS, that helps with your nerve, and don't forget all these 2 different types of massagers. Sorry that one seemed a bit funny, but it actually works fucking fantastically. But it was sold as a massager and nothing else. But anyway, so like I say, you need this just after the operation for your scar once the stitches come out. Couple of weeks with this along those scars, and then you get this for about £20, which is, to me, like £10 better than that. But you do need that one because it works in small areas. Then this one, just work everything, just get everything, get the strength back. Work on that carpal tunnel with it. I mean, I can stick it on as well. If I can find the knob, find us a back. And then you can just work the areas, get on that carpal tunnel, really work out all the areas where you've had the stitches and the cuts and everything. And then what it'll do, it'll break down that tissue, and anything that wants to cling to it, like a tendon or a nerve, it will help to repair it. And I actually believe this has helped overall as well with getting my feeling back as well. Because that finger there, you can just run it around. You don't have to press it too hard. And just work it. And what with that and the other bits and pieces on the thing, it's coming back. It's how much work you put into it. So anyway, guys, the false widow is coming back again in May. They're alive now, they're just hidden away in your shed or your garage or whatever it is. But be aware that they're back out again making webs. They're outside trying to find hiding places, and they'll use your shoes, they'll use your jacket, they'll use your linen on your line, whatever they want to do. So just be aware of that. I'll get this video out now, then I'll try and do another one in May just to wake you guys up again about the false widows. So because I'm concerned about people's children getting bitten, not just adults, and don't be blasé about it. It's real. I wouldn't have come in and waste your time. So anyway, from my heart, I'll put this video out again for you guys to keep you all safe. Be aware of the false widow. It is dangerous, and don't listen to people that are saying it's like a wasp thing. It really, really isn't. When you go into it, wasp thing, no one's been losing their legs and arms, but this they have. It's spider from the Canaries, which has been coming in for 100 years through the fruit and bananas. It's all over the country now, the south of England, because of the temperatures that we've had. So be very vigilant and try and find out about it. Look it up on Google, see what they look like, and if you find one, I mean, some people that are animal lovers say, oh, you mustn't kill it, put a glass over it, put it outside. It's up to you what you want to do. I know what I do with them, but I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want to upset certain viewers. But I've got a spray that you can neutralise them with, and I told you the thing's called Nope. It's called Nope, N-O-P-E. You can get it on Amazon. and you can spray also the inside of your doors, around your windows. I've got screens on my windows I've had put on, so I can leave my windows open in the summer and doors shut. We're not living in the same country we were 30 years. Since the last 30 years, they've really spread to London and suburban London and all around, really, from the docks, and that's where they originally came from the fruit trade. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me. I'm putting this video out there to back up the last video that you guys saw. You can see that I've got my hand back. It's just through a lot of hard work. Unless you put the time in, you might end up with a claw hand or whatever, or if it hits your foot or whatever. You just got to do the physio. You've got to do it. You'll only get basic fit and physio at the hospital. They'll just show you what to do, basically. It's down to what you do and how you do it. And it was a good 3 months, stressful, being at home, having to do that. You can imagine 3 or 4 times a day. So that's like 8 hours, so you're getting gaps in between. Thank you very much for listening. And please listen and just don't get bitten. Be aware of what's out in your back garden. Thank you.